It turns out that Matt Hoffa was greedy, cheap, and selfish.
Is Gully, nobody was getting paid, okay? Then let's talk about that. He wasn't getting paid, and I'm gonna say this, nobody was getting paid except Space Ghost.
That's right.
All right? When I was the first thinking that knew they had to pay. Had to pay me. Yeah. And I was calling him saying, yo, he's gonna pay me. So you gonna tell them to pay you, or I'm gonna just take my money and I'm gonna split it with you because we a team.
Right.
But when you speak to this, you tell him he got to pay you. Once I got paid, once I had to get paid, everybody else got paid. That's the hatred.
How long into the show was people not being compensated?
The whole time. Nobody got paid but me first, nigga.
How the fuck did that work out?
because niggas didn't know that niggas getting money, but I knew because I was getting paid from my other YouTube show that wasn't even getting the hits he was getting. Yeah. And they were paying me already. Yeah. So when a girl, I'm gonna say it, Mandy from Mandy Focal Pumps called me when I was on set and she didn't know me and she asked me some number and she said, I want to start a show with you and I'm gonna pay you. And I was like, pay me? And I showed it to Hyneken. This started everything. We was on set. I said, look, Hyneken. And Hyneken didn't play it cool. He's like, oh, word? Oh, word? Oh, word? Oh, God. And Matt was like, what is that? And Hyneken was like, look, they trying to pay him. Yeah. And on my way to go meet her, he called me.
That was your first time seeing the analytical page?
No, he didn't see it yet.
I didn't see it at the time.
He didn't see it until after the nigga wasn't paying us. How about that?
You didn't know about that?
He showed it. He let him see it on some cocky
But he didn't, my mind, and I looked at him like this.
Let me tell you
and
something.
I called them niggas.
This, I'm not even saying nothing else. Right. His biggest mistake.
The whole analytical thing.
Listen, the whole analytical thing. This is the most ironic part of the whole. Everybody was now worried about the money he was making. And they was coming to me because I was the first thing to get paid. I was like, I don't care how much money he's making. We have a deal with him. He's supposed to pay us this. As long as he pays me my money, I don't care. Why? Because, Gully, I'm not a content.
What up, where's your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe and notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, I am not one that was there. I wasn't in the room, but I can only go by what's going on. We talked about Matt Hoffa losing the barbershop. We talked about Matt Hoffa's business practices, and we talked about how a lot of his co-workers left the podcast because of this, that, and the third. We never really understood what it was. We saw him roll up on them when they were on, I believe it was Angie Martinez podcast. One of the no, it wasn't Angie. It was Angela Yee, I believe, that he rolled up on them, and we saw a bunch of things transpire. But we've never ever heard the full story of why Esso and Hyneken actually left the My Expert Opinion podcast with Matt Hoffa. And we just got the word, thanks to Gully TV, Esso and Hyneken, that used to be with Matt Hoffa on that program, went on there and basically said Matt Hoffa was extremely cheap and he was low-key selfish. And I'm just going to be honest, it doesn't seem like it's far-fetched because Matt Hoffa has had some funny business going on. It just looks that way. I don't know if this is true. Let me preference that. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if any of this is true, false, indifferent, or whatever. Just like the shooting of the barbershop, it sounded kind of fishy. I reported on it anyway, but I kept telling you, I don't know if this is true, false, or whatever. I believe that Bigger was, I'm not going to say that he was exposed, but I believe something was false or whatever. It's been proven that has not been 100% accurate. Let's just say that, okay? So I don't know if the barbershop got shot up, and I don't know if this story is true, but I'm going to be honest. I feel like Esso and Hyneken have almost no reason to lie about this. I think they were very green to the game. I think they didn't understand and didn't care, didn't want money till they realized they were supposed to be getting it. I'm going to tell you the story that they told on Gully TV, which is kind of crazy, and I can kind of see it because dudes out the hood, especially dudes that have been like involved with the law and things of that nature, a lot of dudes just trying to stay under the radar, get a couple bucks here and there, and just help out when they can. A lot of dudes was allegedly on that program for free. A lot of dudes just want recognition. They just want to be involved. They just want to be a part of something. A lot of dudes not trying to get money out of you. But when they realize you're making $200,000 a month, that's when they're like, bro, and you should be hitting dudes off, right? If your program isn't making no money, then yeah, we're not going to be paying. We're not, nobody's making money in here. A lot of these podcasts are losing money. You're spending more money on the equipment than you're getting from the show. But Matt had passed that point where he wasn't making enough money to pay these guys. Matt showed one of these guys what happens with YouTube, they show you the monthly pay. YouTube pays once a month. So Matt showed one of these guys that one of his payments was a $200,000 check. That gets direct deposited right into your account. No questions, no taxes, nothing. It just, boom, it goes straight to you. And he was allegedly doing that every month. But you got to understand, Matt was doing millions and millions of views. Right? So let's say this. If Matt, now Matt's not here to defend himself, but if Matt is making $200,000 even in 1 month, gang, even with the barbershop, even with the expenses, even with the barbershop even with the barbershop for 6 months, he could pay that barbershop for 6 months. He could pay himself for 6 months. He can hit all these guys. I'm just going to be honest. I told you there's no taxes on this. Now you're gonna have to be responsible for tax at the end of the year, but he's making mad money. He'll be fine. You ain't heard about him in no tax trouble yet. So definitely, these guys should have been getting paid. They said the cameraman, Space Ghost, was the only one getting paid. And he's come out and said that he wasn't getting paid regularly. He was getting a lot less than he should have been. And it wasn't on time. It was always late. And if he got it at all. So what happened, Esso and Hyneken are saying that they weren't getting paid. And then I believe it was Esso got an offer from another podcast to come down and do some work on the podcast. And the lady paid him. He was like, oh, snap, this lady paid me. They showed Matt. Matt got wind of it, like, what y'all looking at? They showed him that the lady paid him. So for some reason, according to their story, after this moment passed, Matt pulled the other guy, side Hyneken, and was like, well, look what I'm getting. Look what I'm getting. I guess, I don't know if it was a power move. I don't know if it was a divide and conquer. I don't know if he was like, stick with me, man. I got you. I don't know what it was. But he allegedly showed, I'm saying allegedly, he allegedly showed Hyneken that he had a payment for $200,000 in 1 month. And Hyneken went back and told Esso, right? And that's where the problems began. Because he's like, bro, you're making 200 grand, and rightfully so, gang. I'm just going to be honest. I don't care if he was making 10 grand. They should have got something. But 200 grand? They're a big part of that podcast. You see the podcast ain't been the same. It moved on, but then more stuff happened and more nonsense, and other guys are leaving. Now the podcast don't exist no more. And I seen Math come back. He's back up. He got a new space. He's interviewing again. He's back. He's doing everything I said he should do. He's taking everything that everybody said he should do. He's doing it, but the numbers aren't coming back like they were. Math has done some it's just irreconcilable damage to this thing. And he's going to really need to take some time to reflect on himself, because these new rumors that he wasn't paying his staff, people are going to be like, bro, what kind of person does this? No one will have a staff that they're not going to pay, especially when they're making that much. That's millions, gang. 200,000 a month. Yeah. 200,000 a month in 5 months. Guess what? Yeah. So Math was making money. These guys should have been very well compensated. But see, when you think you're the enchilada, you think all of the whole plate is yours, then you're gonna be like, what am I paying these dudes for? They didn't build this, I did. Right? He's thinking that, first of all, I don't gotta pay him. I brought them on myself. I could have put anybody there. This is when people start rationalizing. I could have put anybody. He don't know that the way that they interacted with you and the guests, they built that podcast with you. There was a lot of things they would say that Math didn't think of, Math couldn't say. They held Math down in a lot of ways. They gave Math credibility. But I guess Math didn't see that allegedly and wasn't paying, or he's either greedy, cheap, or both. Right? Just gonna be honest. Now, like I said, I'm not here to disrespect Math, but this is a story. This is the story. The story is, now that we've gotten even further down the rabbit hole, Math wasn't paying nobody there. Bigger said it. These guys said it. I don't know what Mecca's saying. Right? Mecca's on a podcast run. Mecca's trying to build up his own podcast. He's everywhere doing interviews. He's trying to build up his thing, which is going to take some time, right? Just like when homeboy, what's homeboy that left Roaring Mall? Begins with a J, Justin or Justin, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name. He started his own podcast. He's trying to make a run and get his podcast off the ground. People, these are people's jobs, right? When they leave, they backfew, they took the ball and ran with it. They're getting their own money now. They don't need nobody. And I'm sure they're paying their staff. They learn from this. But I don't think Math really is learning because, let's just be honest, if he was making that kind of money, he must got some money to the side. So he could have paid whatever at that barbershop. If the shootings didn't happen like they said, then the only thing left was the $7,000 phone bill, light bill, which he refused to pay. And whatever back and forth with this girl, Math could have been got another spot before this. If he's making that kind of money, unless he spent it, right? All I'm saying is this. That's the destruction of a podcast for no reason. Even Joe Budden gonna get you on contract and pay you, right? Even though he had his issues with Rory Moore, they were getting paid. They weren't up there for nothing. They weren't up there for free, right? Money came to the issue later, but he was paying these guys. So this is something Matt gonna have to learn from. And I'm just gonna be honest, personally, I believe the story. I believe the story. I feel like some guys think they're bigger than the program. I think Math is going to learn real quick because he changed the name of the channel to Math Hoffa now. And now it's all about Math doing interviews. Okay, good start. Hold up. End of the day, the phone overheated. I don't know what happened, but I'm just going to wrap it up like this. Math is changing the way he does it, and I salute that. He's trying to get back to business. One thing I want to say to Math is just stay focused. Don't get back into the silly shit. You're not bigger than the program. Just try to work within the team. Be smart. Do the things right. Do your money right. Pay your people. And stay focused. All right? I'm going to leave it at that. CLBMG. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Also, head on over to black-yeti.com. Make sure you show them guys some love. Again, black-yeti.com. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.